So I wanted to create a walnut table, a little table in one of our rooms. And so I went to Bill's shop and started to search around for a nice little piece of, in fact, a 100-pound piece of walnut wood. And it had some bird shit on it, some other things, but we were going to turn this thing into a really nice table. And then so we took the table to a bandsaw to cut it into the shape that we wanted the table into. So we wanted to cut out some of the large, gnarly parts. Then we get the top planed to the right thickness. We had to go through several times, as well as the legs of the table planed to thickness. And so I also started to chip away at the excess bark. Initially I thought we're going to leave that, but Bill said, no, let's take that off because you don't want to create a table with bark on it. It's going to fall off. So I just chipped away at it and took all the bark off. And so then I cleaned off the inside of this piece of wood, which was pretty gnarly because it looked like there was a bird nest in there. Chipping away, cleaning it up, so then we can actually add our epoxy layers to this. So then we blow some particles out, and then we used a little sander to get through these gnarly little edges and make them look pretty. So then we put a thin layer of silicone around this area so the epoxy cannot leak. Then we put our form board on it and also screw it in. So we're just going to pour in a little bit of this epoxy and let it dry completely before we pour all of the epoxy into this hole. Now we're going to cut our legs to a rough measurement. Then we can finish it on the table saw. We had some problems with the skill saw, but we finally learned how to do it because apparently this really tough grain in walnut is very difficult to cut straight through. So we had to kind of like go back and forth because that walnut loves to pinch blades. So what we wanted to do is set the table saw to 11 degrees because that's exactly where we want our legs to be. So now we're cutting the legs. And then we're going to grind and kind of clean up the sides. And then finishing the edges with more of a sander. And so then we used a finish sander just to make this really pop. So at this point we're going to add some screws, but we want to add some plugs to hide the screws. So we use this special drill bit. And so this is an actual coffee table. So we're going to put something called a figure 8 in to attach these legs to the top of the table because the top of the table can expand over time. And if you don't put these type of figure 8 screws in here or this mechanism to hold it together, it could crack. So now we're going to make the plugs. And so this drill press is going to create these little plugs that we'll chip out and use to hide the screws. We just add a little glue and pound them in, and then we'll actually sand them off. So we used our final 180 sandpaper to finish off this project. We attach the figure 8s to the top. do some last minute cleaning, and then we apply the oil. Okay, we're going to use oil, which eventually will put a coat of wax over the top of this, and then we'll buff that out. Wow, just incredible to see the grains. You can actually see through the middle part of the table. If you really look, you need the right light, but you can see right through it. It's incredible. So it looks like this table turned out to be the state backwards that I was raised in, Wisconsin. So it kind of looks like a reversed Wisconsin shape. Wow, this is awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well done. Thank you so much for helping me create this. And I mean, I don't want to put you in the spot, but you know, I think I want to get into woodworking. I think this health thing is overrated.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing this YouTube channel for quite a bit of time. I want to get in woodworking. Do you have any applications? Maybe I can...
We do have some applications, and I think you should get into woodworking because it really came out great. It's a super job, you know, for your first table like this, you know, this size, and I think you did a great job on it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Karen is going to freak out when she sees this. Can't wait to show her. But anyway, Bill is a neighbor. He's right down the street. So I'm going to be, this is my new hobby. I'm going to be over here quite frequently. And if you guys have not subscribed yet to his channel, definitely subscribe. There's some really cool stuff that he does. As you can see in this room here, it's filled with all sorts of amazing furniture just from like raw pieces of wood. So I don't know how you do it. How long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing this basically my whole life. So we could go back to, you know, I won't say my age, but close to 40 years.
40 years, wow.
And I've been doing it here as a business for about 24 years.
Wow, amazing. Well, I'm glad that you're close by, and I'm glad that you helped me show me how to create this. This is amazing. So definitely subscribe to his channel, and we will see you in his next video. Hopefully, maybe I'll be in it, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
Awesome. This was an amazing project. I loved it. It was so much fun. And check out Bill's next project where he creates this amazing oak desk.